Hi everyone, my name is Hester and I am your medical aid and/or gap broker. The focus of this video is to go over the changes for 2026 for the Genesis Medical Scheme. And as there are so few changes, I would like to go through the three plans in a bit more detail so you are reminded of the available benefits on your particular plan. So let's get started. For 2026, there is no loss in benefits, and many of the benefits, as you'll see, are actually increasing with more than inflation, which is excellent news. Remember that Genesis is a no-frills type of medical aid with no extras like travel cover or comprehensive primary care, which is one of the reasons why it's less expensive. For all plans on Genesis, I highly recommend you have a good gap cover, as there are likely to be shortfalls for hospital events. Generally, there are no networks with Genesis with the exception of mental health. For example, with Med100, if you want full cover for your mental health hospital admission, you need to go to a state facility. Now, in some provinces like the Cape, this might not be such a big deal, as many of the specialists from the universities actually operate at the government hospitals. But I know that in KZN, this would certainly be a lot more of a challenge. I'd like to make this point and emphasize it for the Genesis members because I normally mention it I do mention it when I discuss Genesis with you, but it has come up a lot of late, and one of the reasons why their premiums are so low is because they are absolute sticklers for following the rules, their rules, and also putting a stop to any possible fraudulent activity. Now, I'm personally on this plan and I had to undergo surgery last year, and I had an audit process done even though I'd been on the plan for over 12 months, which I was surprised about, and then I struggled to get my authorization through. So Genesis can and will audit at any time. So your initial application is extremely important, and you need to disclose any and all medical information, even if you don't think it is relevant. Okay, and then lastly, 2026, the increases are a fabulous low of 4.7%. So let's take a quick look at the contributions for 2026. We're just going to look at the actual premiums. So here we've got Med100, which is the least comprehensive. Main member is 1,680, same for an adult dependent, and a child is 525. For 2026, for Med200, which is a more comprehensive hospital plan, 2,355, same for an adult, and the child is 675. And lastly, the Med200 Plus, this is where it includes a self-managed fund, or commonly known as a medical savings account, and there it's 3,400 for both the main member and any adult dependents, and 675 for the child as well, same as 200. Just please note that all of these contributions are without any late joiner penalties. So if you do have late joiner penalties on your plan, you need to factor those in as well. I'll just leave this slide on for a few seconds so that you can look at the 2025 contribution compared to the 2026 contribution for all three plans. We're going to look at all three plans side by side. Remember that claims are paid at 100% of scheme tariff, and also mental illness, it's PMB only, which is prescribed minimum benefit, and you need to use a designated service provider, which is state for mental illness. Those, just so that you know, those prescribed minimum benefits there's only three of them: major depression, bipolar, and schizophrenia. For Med100, that's paid in full at a designated service provider, which is state. And if you are on Med200 or 200 plus, it's paid at 200% of medical aid tariff at a non-DSP. Okay, or paid in full if you do go to state. All right, so does this mean that you have to go to a state facility? No, it just means that it won't be paid in full and there could be shortfalls. So if you're on a gap cover, that would be fine. Right, let's looking at scans. That's mental illness. Looking at scans, there's no change for Med 100. Scans are subject to approval. You have a 3,000 Rand copay in hospital, and there are no out-of-hospital scans. This is very important to note. Okay, so this makes it a less desirable plan for me, and I prefer not to put clients onto this plan, but it is a very good premium and it's better than nothing. Okay, so no out-of-hospital scans, and things that are excluded are dentoalveolar procedures, something to do with the mouth, migraines, and also for conservative back and neck conditions, which is also quite important. So if you've got that kind of thing, this is not the plan to be on. Right, external surgical appliances are only for fractures. So note that at the bottom where it says external medical, so it would be like a moon boot or whatever, external fixator, whatever thing you're going to put on as an external device. It's only for fractures and not for everything else. All right, so ambulance services are through ER24. Please note that under Med 100 there are no endoscopic procedures at all for Med 100. So this is one of the reasons why it's not such a desirable plan. But if you look at Med 200, at Med 200 Plus, they've increased their limits for next year by 6% and 5.3%. And that's a good thing. Okay, and then just note that they might not pay everything for a gastroscopy, and this is something that you would need your gap cover for. Okay, so plain radiography, nothing for Med 100, and the benefits have increased to 5,800 for 200 and 200 plus. Med 200 Plus is the only plan that has a self-managed fund or a medical savings, and those have increased to 10,800 per adult beneficiary. Nothing for children, so if you do have kids on this, they have to share your medical savings with you. Also, please note that this works slightly different. The quarter of it is advanced to you each quarter, and at the end of the year, if you haven't used up your medical savings, it actually falls away. It does not roll over to the next year. Here we're going to be focusing on dental benefits out of hospital. All right, so x-rays are limited to, for your teeth, to 750 Rand per person. Crowns and bridges or dentures have gone up slightly to 5,750. And yes, these are unlikely to cover the whole procedure, but it does go a long way to paying for it. Dental implants are still there for 10,000, although it's not shown on the slide. One dental implant every 3 years. So it's for someone who has the odd tooth out and wants to have them replaced, not if you've having them all done at once. Please note that not all dentists charge the same rate, so it's a good idea to shop around a little bit and find someone who's a bit more reasonable. Some dentists are just crazy. And then those on Med 200 Plus can use their savings in order to fund any shortfalls on their dental benefits or their dental claims. Just a quick slide to show you how affordable over the years that Genesis has been. So since 2013, they started at an increase of 4.95. They've gone occasionally to a low 6, 5s, 3.6 in 2022, and just to emphasize for 2026, it's going to be 4.7%. If you are on any of the plans, I really encourage you to download the Genesis app onto your smartphone. There's a bunch of stuff that you can get from here. Digital cards, for example. They don't issue any physical cards anymore. Membership details, plan benefits. You can dial ER24 directly from your app. You can view claim status. There's a document library where you can look at your monthly statements. Your tax certificates can be drawn from there. And also info on any of the hospital admissions that you might have. So thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you found this useful. Please note that I have not gone through every single thing. I do need you to go through the brochures and look specifically at your plan so that you can check and see what is covered and what is not covered. For any of you wanting a review to change your plan, please contact me early. The deadline will be at the end of November to have all the documents in, but it does take a bit of time, especially at this time of year. If you are on Genesis but not on gap cover, please let me know, as I feel you really should be on gap cover with this plan, and I can go through the options with you. So have a wonderful and blessed rest of the year, and looking forward to 2026.